As some of you can hear, I'm hoarse. I'm talking a little too much. Thank you all for coming to our October meeting. I'm going to ask Mr. Farmer if he would lead us in prayer.
Right. Gracious Lord, Heavenly Father, Lord, we come to you again, asking you that you would bless in this meeting tonight, Lord. Would you bless all these council people, Lord? And Lord, would you touch and would you help everything to be done in the order, Lord, that it needs to be done for our great town. And Lord, I pray that you would bless concerning this election coming up, Lord, of our president. Lord, may you choose the right one. Lord, we need your help. We're in a mess. And God, I pray that you would minister. You'd work all these things out. And go with us and protect us and keep us, Lord, from harm and danger. And we give you praise, honor, and glory. For it's in your wonderful name we pray. And amen.
Amen. Would you stand as we say the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. If anyone is going to speak tonight, could you please sign in at the podium? Okay, well, Mr. Smith has signed in. Council, you have our agenda. Are there any adjustments to our agenda?
Yeah, it's on the notes page.
So it is on there.
Mm-hmm. Item 18A, I think it was, seemed to be the consensus. We could add that under consent agenda if there were no objections.
So we have one item that we were adding to the agenda. And it's on here, so. Consent agenda. Okay. So no other items taken. Can I get a motion to accept our agenda?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Was that for the consent agenda or the regular agenda?
I believe that was for the
That's it.
regular agenda.
And we need to do consent.
We need to add an item to the consent agenda.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, may I have a motion to add one item to the consent agenda?
Be item 18A.
Item 18A.
I'll make a motion to add item 18A.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none. All right.
Okay. Thank you.
So next item is we have a plethora of minutes here. So do we want to do all those at once, or is there a somebody wants to look at each one of them individually? If not, I'll accept the motion to accept the minutes as presented. Motion to accept the minutes as presented. Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any other question or comment? Hearing none, we'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposition? Hearing none? All right. We'll move into our organizational business. I've got one item, which is, we need to fill this empty seat right here. And I'm gonna ask Mr. Bryant if he would come to that podium.
Can I bring Mrs. Bryant with you?
Matter of fact, you better bring If you would, put your right hand on the Bible. And you can affirm, I do, as I read. I, Paul R. Bryant,
I, Paul O'Brien,
do solemnly swear that I will support and maintain the Constitution and laws of the United States. So help me God.
I do.
I, Paul R. Bryant,
I, Paul O'Brien,
do further solemnly and sincerely swear that I will be faithful to the constitutional powers and authorities which are or may be established for the government thereof, and that I will endeavor to support, maintain, defend the Constitution of the United States, state Constitution of North Carolina, not inconsistent with the Constitution of the United States, to the best of my knowledge and ability, so help me God.
I do.
I, Paul R. Bryant,
I, Paul O'Brien,
do further swear that I will well and truly execute the duties of the office of Town Council of the Town of Troutman, according to the best of my skill and ability, according to the law, so help me God.
I do.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Now that we have a full council, I think we've got a couple items that, Paul can now vote on, so this will be good. First item is we need to make an appointment to the alternate for the Charlotte Regional Transportation Planning Organization. Do I have a motion to appoint that alternate?
I make a motion that our Mayor Pro Tem be the alternate, Paul Hinkle.
Motion that Paul Hinkle be the alternate. Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
Thank you. Motion that Paul Hinkle be the alternate has been made and seconded. Is there any question or comment? Hearing none, we'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none, congratulations, Paul. Thank you for volunteering for that. The next item is an appointment to be the delegate to Central Carolina Council of Governments. Is there a motion to appoint a delegate to the Central Carolina Council of Governments?
I'll make a motion to appoint Paul Bryant, Central Carolina Council of Governments.
Motion's been made to appoint Mr. Paul Bryant to be the delegate for the Central Council of Governments. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Jablonski. I will allow Mr. Troutman to be the second. It's only two motions he normally makes, so we'll accept that one. Is there any other comment or question? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposition? Congratulations, and again, thanks for volunteering. Next item is, the introduction of our reserve officer, Tom Anderson, Chief Sales.
Mayor, thank you, and council, thank you very much. Yes, welcome. I'd like to introduce Tom Anderson. Tom started out as a patrol officer with Statesville PD back in 1992 and was promoted through the levels of supervision and management until 2008 when he was promoted to police chief. During Tom's career, he served in several assignments, which include patrol, criminal investigations, special operations, community service, in addition to SWAT over 12 years. Tom left Statesville PD last year in July 2015 and took a position with the North Carolina League of Municipalities, where Tom currently is serving as a public safety risk management consultant. That's a long handle list. For all the cities and towns within the league, which are here in the state of North Carolina. Tom has a bachelor's degree and master's degree in criminal justice. Additionally, Tom is a North Carolina certified training instructor and has taught basic law enforcement training at Mitchell Community College for many years. Tom also serves as an adjunct professor for Gardner-Webb and Kaplan University. We're together on that one. Teaching criminal justice and government classes. Tom was also a board member and past president of North Carolina Police Executive Association and served as a law enforcement training coordinator for many years. I want to welcome Tom as a reserve officer, where he can continue his training and help us out with some training here at the PD, as well as keeping us up to date on the laws and things that come down from the league and the state. Welcome, Tom. Thank you very much. And Tom would have been here last month. He was sworn in, but he decided to go to Disney World a week after that.
World hurt me.
Thank you. Welcome, sir. Appreciate your service. Thank you, Chief. Our next item is our education spotlight, and I'll turn it over to Mr. Blonsky.
First this evening, let me tell you that there are copies of the CATS newsletter, CATS Pride, and they're available on the table in the lobby. And this evening, it is my pleasure, with the Education Spotlight, we are highlighting Iredell Charter Academy, located at 251 Home Improvement Street in Troutman. A tuition-free public charter school, presently with students in grades K through 6, to expand in the future, K through 8. Iredell Charter Academy is a member of the Charter Schools USA family of schools. With us tonight to share information about the Charter Academy are Dr. Andrea Presti, Principal, and Jennifer Wilson, Assistant Principal. If you come up, please. After your presentation, we all like to shake your hands. Thank you for being here, and we have patches and guns for both of you.
Thank you. So, good evening, Mayor, Council, and community members. We are very happy to be here this evening. Even after a long day with children, we are grateful to be in Troutman, North Carolina. We recognize that this is a very active community, a community where there's a lot of pride, and we're grateful to be a part of the Troutman, North Carolina community. This is Jennifer Wilson, our assistant principal. We're going to just go over some highlights of our school and show some pictures. I guess just click them. So we are home of the Panthers. That is what our students voted on. We allowed them the opportunity to vote for our mascot. So, Panthers. And the most important thing about Iredell Charter School, what makes us different, is we are a school of choice. And we recognize that our family members are choosing to come to our school. With that said, there are some things that they have to work on as far as our students wear uniforms, they drive to our school, so we see them every morning and in the afternoon. This fosters a lot of community within our school, and that is one of our key aspects in our school, that we want our parents to be part of the process. We also use a positive behavior support and just recognizing that every child is different and every child learns different, and the small group instruction is what we really focus on. I'm going to ask, we are tuition free, as Ms. Jablonski stated, and that is one of the misconceptions that a lot of parents have within our greater community. So we're trying to get the word out there that we are a public school and we report directly to the state DPI. I'm going to ask Ms. Wilson to talk a little bit about our curriculum and our governing board.
We do have a board that governs us. It is made up of educators, and we report to them, and they have asked that Charter Schools USA provides us with resources to help fund our school. We also, this was us at the ribbon cutting on our first day. That is Dr. LaPrestian and myself with our board members. And Mrs. J was there with us that day.
And they are a nonprofit board, and they're community members, educators within our community. So we're very fortunate to also have an active board.
Some of our facts, our schools, many of the CSUSA schools began in Florida, in the Fort Lauderdale area. They do use research-based strategies, and they have proven to be very effective. So as the charter movement has grown, they have grown into other states, which North Carolina is one of them. We do follow their education model. This is just the school location. So our students do wear uniforms. Here are some of our classrooms that we have. On the left side of the screen is a kindergarten classroom that we have. And on the right side of the screen is a music room. So at our school, we do have certified, dedicated teachers, and they are state certified. They hold their North Carolina teaching certificates. We do have the Cambridge International program, not right now at our school. You have to be in operation for one school year, and then you can adopt that program. So we will use that for our academically gifted students.
This is one of our focus with parents. Again, bringing them in, always focusing on the positive, and just realizing that these are our future dreamers, our future innovators, our future scientists. So it's all about looking at each child. We do have a personal learning plan for every child at our school, and we want them to really hone in and tap into what makes them special and what their strengths are. So this was one of our first Panther of the Month events where parents came and they celebrated their child. Going back into the curriculum, it is, we use the Common Core state standards. All of our students will take the state tests as well. And going with our teachers followed a 3-week professional development plan so that they became familiar with our educational model. And this took place 3 weeks prior to the school year. Many of our teachers are from the local area. They have roots here, and they have families and building homes, and they're very proud to be a part of Iredell and Troutman. And these are more of our teachers. These are special teachers, so sports, of course, is very popular in North Carolina. So we have our students have the opportunity to have sports in a very state-of-the-art gym. We have music, science labs, and technology. And then some more of our kinder teachers. We do have a blended approach for our technology. So we have technology courses, we have iPads, smart boards, and we want to incorporate more technology within the classroom. We understand the 1-to-1 ratio is not always the best, so we do have a blended model where they can do hands-on projects as well as technology. We don't want to get away from that collaboration where students learn best. And then our standard courses. Here's some of our students. Again, it's the small group instruction that we focus on from K to 6. And leaders. And these are the personal learning plans. And these plans are based on data, and every every child will set goals. They will have 3 goals throughout the year and talk with their parents in student-led conferences where the parents will come in and again be part of the process and go over the plans and really goal setting is important for all of our students, and we recognize it's a habit that makes successful people. So they will start as early as kindergarten. And you want to talk about this?
We begin every morning with a morning meeting. We believe in a responsive classroom, which means we believe in teaching students natural consequences. And the best way to be able to speak into a child's life is by building community. So we start every morning with a morning circle or with a morning meeting. On the left side is a kindergarten teacher doing it, and on the right side is Mrs. Wilson doing it with a group of 6th graders.
And the 6th graders loved it. Even though they're going through puberty, they really wanted to share about themselves and their family, and they asked me to do it more often. Again, the parent involvement. We ask that each parent comes to the school at least 20 hours throughout the year. If they have more than one child, 30. It's not mandated, but it's highly recommended because, again, the research says that when parents are involved, everybody, it's a team approach, and students perform better. And here are some of the events with parents. This was prior to the school year. This was before the doors opened and before the school was ready. We met in your park. And then another event as well. And 2 weekends ago, we had a cardboard challenge. It's a global initiative where students take cardboard boxes and they create and dream and with their parents something exceptional. And this child made this amazing spaceship, which will be showcased at our fall festival. You were part of your parade, again, very active community you have. And then the uniforms. This was one of the biggest differences that parents that are not used to uniforms are getting familiar with that, but we believe it helps everybody to be on the same page. And then when we have more students enrolled, we will have a lottery system. Our next enrollment will start in November, and with a lottery, it would be in person, where parents are invited and we would have the lottery process. And again, Iredale Charter School may not be the best for every family and child, but we hope that it's a school of choice where parents want to be, and that it really hones in for every child within the Iredale community. Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
I've heard some good things about the school. Actually got a chance to ride through the campus, so it's a beautiful campus. And as soon as my voice gets better, I'm coming on campus. Because if I don't, I know Miss Madeline Peter will not let me live. So I will.
She said, don't stop until you rise.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, our next item is our business spotlight. And I'm gonna try and get through this. If I don't, Barry's probably gonna hurt me if I don't. So I'll try and get through this. This month's business spotlight is Food Lion LLC. It is an organization dear to my heart. It was 1957. 3 Salisbury men wanted to start a new grocery chain. but they didn't scrape together enough money to open their first store. Ralph Kettner, his older brother, Brown Kettner, and their colleague, Wilson Smith, had soured quickly on their new positions with Winn-Dixie, which were part of a package deal when the corporation purchased a local chain. When plans were announced for Salisbury's Kettner Center, the three men took the chance to leave Winn-Dixie and start their own company. They needed $125,000. Smith mortgaged his house 3 times, drew cash on his life insurance, and borrowed money to provide his $1,250 stake. The Kettner brothers each put up $25,000. To collect the additional amount, the men paged through the Salisbury telephone book and wrote down the names of people they knew. Of the 250 numbers they called, 122 people invested, mostly because of their familiarity with the men from the old Kettner stores and on strong small town loyalties. On December 12, 1957, Foodtown opened the largest supermarket in Salisbury, a long, low 1,500 square foot store on the edge of town. The Foodtown's debut also launched a year-long price war as competitors, including a vengeful Winn-Dixie, tried to put the upstart company out of business. Today, our Troutman store is one of the 142 Charlotte region stores that got wider aisles, refreshed produce department, and other renovations and additions. Food Line now also improve the quality, freshness, and selection of foods as part of their new renovation program. Employees have received additional customer service training, and each store was assigned 5 to 10 new positions, increasing the number of employees at our local store as well. Food Line has a long-standing history of offering low prices and convenient locations to its customers for the nearly 60 years. With a significant presence in the Southeast, the brand has a strong reputation for helping its customers nourish their families with fresh, healthy, and affordable food. Our local store is led by Barry Smith and a team of other supporters like Kristen Talley Rowley and Catherine Bunning Sowers. At this time, I'll ask Barry if he wants to come up and make a comment.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, employees. First of all, I'd like to say that we are sincerely honored to be recognized as Spotlight Retailers for the month of October for the town of Troutman. To say a few things I can remember as a child in 1992, I'm going to shop with my mom on trips to the Troutman Food Line. And one thing that stuck out to me, even being really young, was the family and friendly atmosphere that I felt going into that store on a weekly basis. I can remember as a child a very, very tall man that ran around that store at 100 miles an hour. And more than 20 years later, I find out that tall man is actually the man standing to the left of me. I felt it was very fitting to bring him with me as my assistant manager today, my other assistant manager, Trey, my former director, Catherine Sowers, and a very good friend to me at Food Line, to show the support that I have at the Troutman Food Line, and who better than the one who opened in 1992. And I always said that if I had the opportunity to take this store over, I would bring back that family atmosphere that I felt that this store has been missing for quite some time. Being a Troutman native, I grew up here, and I've always had an attachment to this store and the community. I've worked in numerous locations throughout the Statesville area, and I can assure you that there is no place like Troutman, and it's because of the community and the people that shop in the store. We do appreciate you sincerely for allowing us to be a part of the community in the various events that the town holds, from the Independence Day Parade, the National Night Out, and the Trails and Treats, just to name a few. And again, we greatly appreciate that opportunity to serve you and to be known as your Troutman Food Line. I'm sure as you all have noticed, the changes happened in our store over the past several months. And one thing that we haven't lost track of is our customers. And the thing that excites me the most is for the first time in a long time, we've listened to our customers and we made the changes for you. And so, we wanted to make shopping easy with our strategy, easy, fresh, and affordable. You can count on Food Line every day, from the time you get into the store to the time you get home. Just to name a few things, we've added more registers, and for the first time, we actually keep them open, and they're open all day long. I hear that quite a bit, and I do get a lot of great responses from that. We also added grab-and-go items throughout the store, so in the deli department, we have pre-sliced meat and cheese, so there's no more waiting for you in line. At the checkout stands, we have grab-and-go items there, just to save you some time when you get in the bins. And we also started putting your perishable items in blue bags. So if you get home in the evening and you're in a rush, all you have to do is take the blue ones in, everything else can wait till you get time for later. And again, I just really wanna thank you guys for allowing us to be here, and allowing us to serve you, and I promise you we'll work hard every day to continue to get better for you.
Awesome. I'd like to present Barry, you and the team with a certificate of recognition on behalf of the Troutman Town Council, town residents, and the greater Troutman community. I, Mayor T. Ross Young, recognize Food Line of Troutman as the business spotlight of the month for the strong reputation in helping Troutman community residents nourish their families with fresh, healthy, and affordable foods and other goods, and for being an outstanding corporate partner.
That's a good photo right there. All right, thank you.
Now, whoa.
Oh, sorry.
All right, our next item is, our ESC Park, and ask Mr. LaRue to come on up. Welcome, Mayor. Good to see you.
Good evening all. Some of the things that are going on with the park, we now have a new Park and Rec coordinator, Emily Watson. Some of the things that are going on, the Rotary Club, bless their heart, we're gonna be working this weekend here on the Pit Trail, here replacing some of the dead plants that were planted earlier this year and doing a cleanup after the storm that we had last weekend, so. We've had a lot of birthday parties since we've got the pavilion running now, and if anybody's interested, just contact Emily for reservations to reserve it. The farmer's market is also planning a craft fair on November 12th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. October 31st, we will be having the Trails and Treats. If anybody's interested, contact Emily for that as well. And the other thing will be a Christmas tree lighting will occur on December 1st. And that's the report for this week.
Great. Any questions from council? One quick question, John.
Sure.
Any idea of the number of, rentals, reservations so far?
Not yet, I have
Okay.
not
All right.
gotten, it's just been so quick,
Yeah.
but every time I go over there, there's somebody having a party in there, so.
How about
It's been very well received, so I think it's gonna be advantageous for our town.
Great, thank you. Our next item is our J. Hoyt Hayes Memorial Library. Ms. Lopez.
Hello, how are you guys?
Wonderful.
So first things first, last
it'll be starting January 10th. So we'll have a full school semester as well as all throughout summer, and then we'll pick it back up in the fall. So just a reminder, every Iredell State School student gets it automatically. They can get up to 10 print items, no late fees or fines ever, so if they turn it in 7 months from now, it's totally fine. They also have access to all of our ebooks, audiobooks, online resources for projects. Teachers are gonna have their own cards as well, so teachers can use it in the classroom as part of the curriculum to kind of encourage usage for all those databases. Whether they're in high school or middle school, whatever it is, they're gonna have access to all those resources for free, which is really nice. So they don't have to have parent participation like they do in ours. The other thing is our Troutman Library Volunteer Club is getting started up. So last month I went to the Crosby Scholars Open House, because all of the students are required to have community service, and advertised all the things we're doing. Because we're gonna have 2 opportunities per month for them to earn community service. So the 2 for October are they're cleaning up the trail with Rotary on Saturday, and they're also gonna work Trails and Treats on Halloween. So they'll have a chance to either clean or work it, and students just pick what they wanna come to. They will all be matching in lime green shirts, so if you find them doing anything wrong, please yell at them and help. And then last but not least, we are starting a new series of programs called Culture Communities, and it's gonna be a monthly program, hopefully, that'll increase diversity and awareness of various cultures in our community and the library. We don't have much of that right now. So the first thing we're gonna be doing is Saturday, October 29th at 12 p.m. will be a presentation by a patron and her daughter about Hispanic music, dance, the attire that goes with it, how it plays a role in their culture, quinceañeras, and how that's part of Hispanic culture. So it'll be a cool little program for everyone just to kind of learn more about cultures that they haven't necessarily been introduced to yet. And last but not least, in honor of National Friends of the Library Week, Troutman Friends of the Library are hosting a reception next Thursday, October 20th from 5 to 7. It's a drop-in, there's food, drinks, everyone can talk. We'll also have our shirts for sale, and at 6:15 we'll be taking a group picture with all our matching shirts on. And Maddie Burt, the South Iredell student who won our logo contest, will be there to meet people and talk with them. So everyone's welcome to come to that as well. And that's it.
Any questions from council?
Thank you.
Thank you. Make sure we're in order. The next item is our consent agenda. Yeah, correct.
New consent agenda with new board member there.
Everyone got your notes, so, the notes have it added in there, correct?
The notes don't have 18A added that was added at the beginning of the meeting. But yeah, what you're approving is 17, 18, and then 18A.
Is there a motion that we approve 17 and 18A?
Can we, let's buy 18A just to be sure that everybody's on the same page.
Yes, sir. 18A is the cell phone corral design. I emailed out images to you guys earlier today, and we talked about that at Monday's meeting.
I make a motion that we accept the consent agenda.
I'll second it.
Motion was made and seconded that we approve the consent agenda. Is there any other comment or question? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? All right, hearing none. Motion passes. Thank you. Our next item is, comments from visitors and guests. So we ask that anybody who wants to speak, take 2 to 3 minutes, and approach the podium. And if you haven't signed in, please sign in. Figure all y'all wanted to talk for a little bit. All right, we'll move on to new business. Our next item is consider setting a date for our Town of Troutman Christmas Parade. And we've got our parade committee chairman, Mr. Chuck Gallion, if you don't mind sharing with us information about our Christmas parade.
You got people signed up here, this public, they don't want to speak?
Well, it's a public hearing later on.
Oh, public hearing.
Yeah.
We'll step in front of anybody.
No,
Get out of
sir.
order. Okay, thank
Thank you, Mayor, and members of the council, welcome aboard, Paul.
Thank you very much.
Let me give you a quick history, and I'll be brief, promise you, Jimmy, I can't be brief. Yeah. We started a long time ago, 12 years ago, starting on 13th to have a parade here in Troutman, which is Independence Day parade. And about a year or so ago, I'll give Elder, bless his heart, he's not here with us, but he said, let's have a Christmas parade. If Love Valley can have a Christmas parade, Harmony can have a Christmas parade, we ought to have a Christmas parade. Well, he's not going to see that fruitation here, and you get to watch over us. But then his predecessor, which I think Doug was here, but I don't know where Mr. White left, he said, we'll have a Christmas parade. And so people got on board. Then all of a sudden, things changed in Troutman. Now, Mayor, you're here, and some other folks. So I had a phone call, I believe it was Monday. I believe I got a phone call. It wasn't near as bad as the one I got about 40 years ago from the government. Said your friends and neighbors want to send you to the military. It was a very friendly phone call. And said, we're going to have a Christmas parade. I went, are you sure? I mean, you decided now. So we met briefly with my committee, who I call them the Troutman Terrifics, because without them, without the town board behind us, we couldn't do the Independence Day parade or a Christmas parade. We did kind of wait until like the last minute, but we did have a quick meeting, and police chief and Angela in the town, and Todd, which we call Sweet Tea, and Steve, our finance director. I'm not sure how much money we have, and probably need to spend very much, really. We're very conservative on our parades, and we do a great job. So we looked around dates, and the date they gave me was, they would like to do it on Saturday, which is December the 3rd. They want to start at 11 o'clock. And I think before we extend it any further, I think the town and the mayor and the council, y'all need to decide, is that going to be okay with y'all for us to do the Christmas parade on that day? We threw around some ideas about the tree lighting, and maybe start at the fairground and go down 21, but with time restraints with the blocking the street off, the DOT is not going to let us do that. So then we moved the tree lighting over here instead of depot. So logistics wise, our plan and what we met is to use the school property. I'm on the school board, I was like the school board District 4. I talked to my people at CATS and maintenance, and what we're trying to do is start the parade at the school, come down Old Murdock Road and use Eastway and finish up on the other side at Troutman Baptist and disperse from that end. That's our plan. So if I have any objections or want any questions and answers, we'll go from there. Yes, sir.
When you say school, are you talking about CATS?
CATS, yeah, our facility, Old Thomas plant, the CATS building. We're gonna use Autotech parking lot, and we'll, the fairground, we talked about coming for there would be great, but until, like Matthew, get the DOT, we just don't think we have time to get the wheels and turning for the blocking 21. So if the members of the town don't like it this way, you know, and I guess it's the first one. Jimmy, you're a Troutman original.
No, you have one back to mid-60s.
You did have a Troutman parade?
Yeah.
How far back?
Yeah.
How far? It's been a while.
That's 66.
That's for
You know,
my
I
time.
was
That's
playing
for
at
my,
that
that's
time.
for my time, Paul.
My wife was in that parade. I'll bring you a picture sometime.
That's for my time. I should remember that. It was in the 60s.
Yeah, it's mid-60s.
I have a picture of the Grand Marshal.
Well,
That was the Lauren Powell situation there back then.
so now we've waited 50 years to have another parade.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
But let's not wait 50 years for the next one. Let's not wait 50 years for the next one.
Oh, what the,
Let's make
I'm
this
just
an
glad y'all
annual.
promoted me from parade to Independence Day parade to Christmas Day. I like that. Well, y'all did that.
Yeah, we'll promote you.
Yeah.
so we, council have heard kind of the route. Is there any objection? Again, Chuck has presented it as, again, this is our chance to get this thing kind of started back up. I think the committee would like to have a motion to move forward with the parade on December 3rd, 2016, beginning at 11 p.m.
And it works very well with Rotaries, you know, Santa.
Rotary will be having their pancake breakfast.
They're having pancake breakfast and once we get started. So we'll start at 11 o'clock, and our Grand Marshal will actually be Santa Claus. So we'll be the end of the parade instead of the beginning. So, and I think we'll have more bands and more local, and we'll get together with our committee, and if it's okay with y'all, we'll shoot some stuff out. Don Schweisler's on our committee also, but you got the core of them here. They do the job here, Matthew and Angela, and putting this thing together, and just like we do the other parade. So,
I'm surprised you feel comfortable with the short time you've got. That was not concerned, but I understand your committee feels very comfortable, so, you know, congratulations.
just a parade.
Is there any money involved?
Sir?
Any money involved?
Is there any money? Well, we have a budget for other parade, and just to tell you how conservative we are, it's either $35,000, we never used but about, what do we say, about $2,500 maybe the most we've ever used. So we've got money there, but the way we do it, and we used to do it at JC's, we made people pay us to put floats in the parade. But we don't do that. We do this parade in Troutman, Independence Day parade, and this one, it's free ride. If you wanna come, there's no charge, you come in, our time is free, and, you know, there might be a few things, we talked about Fort Johns, but I don't think we may have to do those. And if the town or anybody wants to do a float, that'll be up on there. If y'all wanna do a float, y'all wanna ride on a float, or you wanna do a float with somebody, I'll put Mike on the spot, like real estate, if they wanna do a float, they can buy a float, put it in the parade, we don't charge. We never have. So, we do it from an anonymous donor, who every year, in the past few years, has always given us $1,000, and last year he gave us $2,000. But then he didn't give us anything this year, so he must have got a road check for too much, but, and he's still in our community, and so we've really done very well with the parade, and Steve has all the financial figures, so very conservative on the parade, so, I don't see any really expenses gonna come up for the parade. Like I said, the property and approving starting, we're gonna do is all free, so.
Okay. So can I get a motion?
I make a motion that we, accept the parade route, and we do this on December 3rd, 2016, starting at 11 o'clock.
Is there a second? Motion is made and seconded. Is there any other question or comment? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? All right, hearing none, I think you got one other item you wanna mention.
I'm just gonna bring up real quickly, I didn't even talk to you about our other parade. We had one of the best parades we ever had, our 12th annual parade, and our 13th annual parade is on the books for, I hope I got the right
July
date.
1st.
Saturday, July 1st, 2017. And so we plan to go ahead with that parade also. And, we had one of the best parades we ever had, over 120 some entries, and, it keeps getting bigger and better, and close to the end, everybody says, oh, we don't have enough, I said, just wait, and they'll come into it, so, it is close to the 4th, but it's gonna work out okay. And, we have a larger crowd, I don't ever count, I'll give that up to the police chief, but to count the crowd, and, you know, we end up, as I said, Troutman terrifics, and everybody just say the center of the universe on that one day, we end up with 6,000 to 10,000 people that it varies, so we escalate pretty good.
How many people on the committee?
Well, it depends on what day it is. It's on a good day, I use my family, I use my two sons and my brothers, and we have the committee here. So we're looking at, to do the parade, about 12 people.
I was hoping to say 7, you said Magnificent 7, you know.
Well, it's about 12 people, like I said, but we couldn't do it, like I said, the 4 people here with the town, so we do it, and then, of course, the day of the parade, we have a lot of volunteers, a lot of veterans come in, and they do a lot of the extra stuff on that, but the core committee is about 12. Try to include anybody else wants to be on it. If anybody else wants to be chairman, wants to step up, I know y'all voted that in, so, but, they can sure step up anytime they like to. We'd glad to have you. You wanna be on the committee? Yes, sir. I saw his hand go up.
I want to recommend that there's a convertible with his wife in it. Says she was in the last one in 1960.
Bring the picture.
That would be cool.
That's why I remember, even though I was in space force back then, I remember that for that reason.
Okay, well, we look forward to putting it on, and I hope that you will all be in it or ride, and like I said, like last year, we had everybody in the parade, so, we'll move on. And I tell you, everybody's kind of, and I don't mean to say this because it's not me, definitely the chairman, it's people who put it on, but it's the town. And I said this before, nobody wanted our Independence Day parade first. And then when we got going, and they saw how big it did, and the Marine Corps League, I don't believe anybody out in Dennis Ferry Marine Corps League, I could go on with a dozen people that started and stepped aside. But then all of a sudden, the state said, well, let's switch, and let's come here one year. And then Mortal said, let's go to Mortal one year. And, that's probably not the right language to use, but I'm gonna tell you anyway. Elver sat right there in your seat, kinda leaned over and said, no, but hell no, it's not going, stay here. That's what he said, so, been here 12 years, let's keep on going as long as we can, so, it's a great place, does a good job.
Chuck, that's one of his favorite stories. He's told me that several times, but when he does, he smiles even bigger each time he does it. He loves it. He does it.
Enjoy being here, and, anything else I can do, y'all, just a phone call away. Yeah, I know, a phone call away. Any questions, anybody? Hope everybody comes, okay?
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Thank you. Next item is, we've got a text amendment to the UDO regarding bars and nightclubs, TA 1606. At this time, I'll ask Ms. Martin.
Thank you, Mayor. The core of this text amendment is to remove the uncertainty, additional time, and additional cost associated with special use permits, instead allowing bars and nightclubs to receive a standard zoning permit with all regulations revealed up front. The second goal of this text amendment is to develop regulations that would actually allow for bars and nightclubs in our historic downtown. I have something slightly different from what is in your packets to present this evening. On Tuesday, I met with a downtown property owner concerned about this text amendment, specifically the potential for too many bars downtown and concern over proximity to schools, churches, daycares, and other civic uses. The property owner and I worked together to develop the language on the right of your screen to address those concerns and make this amendment more Troutman-esque. The amendment would prohibit bars and nightclubs in the highway business district and neighborhood center districts from locating within 300 feet of single-family detached homes, churches, daycares, or other civic use buildings. Bars and nightclub in the central business district would be prohibited from locating 300 feet of churches, daycares, and most civic buildings, the exception being downtown park shelters, such as the depot, or future public park shelters elsewhere downtown. Bars and nightclubs would also be limited to only one per downtown block. So what this means for our downtown as it currently exists is the potential for 5 bars. Area 1 is proposed as apartments, 2 is the Tally House, 3 is the Charmel Shopping Center, 4 is the west side of Wagner Street, and 5 is the east side of our historic downtown. As far as bars and nightclubs locating in the highway business or neighborhood center, it would be possible for something to go in the Fairgrounds Shopping Center, Village Shopping Center, the Hair Loft, and a couple of other sites. I didn't map out the potential for bars and nightclubs at Exit 42, as that area is largely undeveloped, and hopefully this illustration provides a feel for what could occur in that area. I believe this amendment builds on what the Planning Board has recommended, is business friendly, consistent with our community goals, and therefore I support and recommend it. And I know we have a couple that would like to speak on this, so if it's okay. Do you want me to go ahead and pull up there?
Yeah,
the PowerPoint?
that'd be fine.
Okay.
Do we need to declare a public hearing first? We need to declare a public hearing. I don't.
That would be correct.
Yeah.
Should we, did he?
Yeah, because when I talk, it's actually public hearing.
Did he declare it? Though? I don't remember declaring it. Did you say it already?
No.
Okay. So let it so be.
So at this time, we will hold our public hearing. I declare the public hearing open. And I think we've got some comments from visitors. So.
Yes, sir. My name's Jeremy Shaw. I'll go ahead and start the slide here. I originally was born in Alamance County, a little town called Graham. I guess my claim to fame is I'm from the same place that John Boy is from, John Boy and Billy Show. His sister was actually my librarian. So I kind of got the small town feel, but I went to college. I met my wife here, Sheena. She's a South Iredell graduate, fast pitch softball pitcher, a town favorite, I would hope. So anyway, she brought me back here, and this is how I've ended up in Troutman. I tell you guys, I love it here. I've been here, 3 years now, and it's something to be said when you're trying to pull out a food line and somebody literally stops traffic to let you out. You just don't find that out often. So I absolutely love it here. We just bought our first house right off of State Park Road. I'm experienced in the service industry, and I just brought a beautiful little daughter. Her name's Ezra, so I'm literally planting my roots here, and I don't plan on going anywhere. I absolutely love it here. So pretty much what I'm coming here to talk to you guys about. I understand the vision of Troutman. My goal is to open a tavern and become an active contributor to the local community culture in downtown Troutman. In the 80s, Steve Jobs had a vision that every family would have a computer in their house. People thought he was delusional. However, his vision pulled him And he became one of the most influential human beings of our time. To be honest with you, I think everybody has a computer in their pocket if you own a cell phone. So one of his quotes is, if you're working on something exciting that you really care about, you don't have to be pushed. The vision pulls you. So I'm going to kind of explain my vision of what I want to do here at Troutman. First off, I want to bring the community together. I want to support local artists. When I say artists, that's brewers, artists as far as drawing, musicians. I want to create charity events. I want to improve storefronts while creating foot traffic. In case you guys don't know, in a 50-mile radius right here in Troutman, there is over 20 craft breweries right here in a 50-mile radius. What I want to try to do is support these local brewers. I want to put these guys on draft. I know that if I'm buying a keg from these guys, I'm putting shoes and clothes on their kids' feet. And on their kids, rather than buying a CEO a brand new Porsche, if I were to use Bud Light or Budweiser, so to speak. So, that's one way that I can help out with the locals. And then, this is right here called flights. So this is something I could have where they could taste all the different beers without having to drink a big 20-ounce glass. These are pretty much the size of, I'd say, shot glasses, a little bit. Another thing that I would want to bring with my vision is support the artists and musicians. My plan is if I'm opening up this bar, pub, I would want to put artwork that actual local artists have drawn. And I want to put their phone number, I want to put their information, their names, and I almost give them an outlet to where they can sell their stuff. There would be like a rotating door for local artists here in our town. I've got a buddy of mine, his name's Jerry Reed. This is JR Carvings. This is going to be something else I'm going to have, local chainsaw art, and all this stuff will be for sale. So, it's different things that people can actually come in, enjoy a cocktail, enjoy a wine, a craft beer, and actually shop or sit down on one of the logs here. This is kind of the type of furniture I'm going to have in this place. It's going to be very artsy, very upscale. I'm not just throwing a bar stool in there and calling it a day. Artists, as far as musicians, every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, I'd like to try to get some musicians in here. And I'm not talking about a three-piece band with bass and all that. I'm just talking about a guy singing and playing an acoustic guitar, almost more of a coffee house type of feel. Support these local artists. Community table. Right here, this is something I want to definitely put in. I feel like a lot of times people, they sit down and they've got their cell phones in front of their face rather than actually talking to people. So, I'm going to have a community table going all the way down. And I also want to try to bring in a B&I. A B&I is a business network, international. It promotes each other's businesses. So, you take different professions, whether you have one realtor, whether you have one construction worker, one insurance agent, you come in, they sit all at the community table, and they try to promote each other, scratch each other's backs. And that would be something I would love to bring in. They have those in Mooresville, and I think they're in States, but I don't think we have one here in Troutman. So creating charity events. I own my own DJ business. I started it from the ground up. I'm 8 years running now. Charity events is something that I'm really involved with. I've been involved for the last 6 years. One charity event that I did in September was Jeeping to Fight Childhood Cancer. The Acme Pizza, it was actually in Mooresville, near Raleigh. We brought in all these different Jeeps, and we had different door prizes, and we did a raffle and raised over $6,000. And I actually donated my time on that because, not to get too personal, but I'm a cancer survivor myself, and I felt like that was just the right thing to do. It's not all about the cash. Motorcycle charity, this was in Wilmington. We did a wing fleet motorcycle charity, and we raised money for vets. And then Mustang Week is a car show that I put on. It's actually in Myrtle Beach. I'm the DJ, I provide the MC skills and the music, but I've been doing this 5 years in a row, so I just wanted to give you guys a little feel of, like, when it comes to creating events, I've done it. I know what it takes. I know what you got to beat the bushes. You got to get out there. And you got to get it. And I've done it, and I know I can bring that here to Troutman. Here's another picture of me and my buddy Jason here. Improving storefronts. One of the brews here. This is actually Sweetwater. If you put their brew, their craft beer, on your draft, they'll actually come and paint a mural. And I see that we got the Dr. Pepper and the Coca-Cola mural thing going, and I feel like it's awesome. It's definitely making our town look good, and this is another opportunity that we could do as far as improving storefronts. And just to let you guys know, I don't know if you know, that's a trout coming up out of the water there. So trout and Troutman, I just feel like it goes well. Yes, sir.
I don't think so.
So creating foot traffic. I'm a very, very advocate mountain bike rider, and I really hit the jackpot where I live. I'm 2 miles from some of the best mountain bike single track I've ever hit in my life. I've been mountain biking for going on 10 years now. And there's people that drive hours, 3-4 hours at a time to come and ride our mountain bike trails. You got over 30 miles of trails, and I highly recommend, if you go to hit that Laurel Loop at the bottom right, you need to be in shape, because that right there, I literally laid on my back, thought I was gonna pass out hitting that trail. But it's amazing, the water and the lake, it's one of the best trails you could ever hit on a mountain bike. And like I said, people drive hours to come to these trails. So what I wanna try to do is tap into that. You know, where this location is, literally, if you're coming from 40, you have to pass my spot to go to Lake Morgan State Park. So I'm gonna try to offer protein shakes, protein bars, try to get these guys in here and let them know, hey, we're supporting you. These guys that bring these mountain bikes, they're $3,500 to $4,000, $5,000 full suspension bikes. So it's not like they can't come and spend a little bit of their money here in Troutman. So that's definitely an avenue I would want to hit. Maybe even do a charity event and get the mountain bike riders involved. We could. I know Erica told me they're thinking about building a greenway, and so who's to say we couldn't start an event there, go hit our trails, and come back and try to raise money. I mean, it's not a question. It's just having to go out there and do it. So the proposal, she went over it. It's literally what's stopping me is the single family home being 168 foot from the location that I would like to open up my bar at. Right now, the middle school is 650 foot away, so I'm okay there. So yeah, that's the only ordinance that's really stopping me from trying to pursue this dream. Closing statement is, my business plan is pretty much to bring more to our community, having a place where people can meet and mingle, supporting local artists, raising money for charities, and the long-term goal is to have people drive to come join us, because I tell you, every time I want to go take my wife out for dinner, I have to either go to Statesville or I have to go to Mooresville. And it would just be nice to have a spot right here in our home front of Troutman where people can go mingle and meet each other, The name of the bar would be Cedar Stump Tavern, and I hope to see all you guys come rest your rump at the stump. That's going to be the slogan. So that's pretty much it for me.
Great. Any other comments? Okay, I'll declare this public hearing closed. We need to consider adoption a statement of consistency.
Erica, could you put that slide up that you had the split screen on? Now, are you recommending the one on the right now?
I am.
Okay. So, and that's completely different from what was at our seats?
I would say it's more Troutman-esque, not completely different, but
Okay.
it does have some changes, yes.
Okay.
Will you point out the specific changes?
Yes, so, it added in, a 300-foot restriction, from daycares, which was not in the original ordinance at all. And it exempted the downtown from, single-family residential properties and downtown park shelters, and also, deleted the last part of the sentence where before you could have a bar on each side of the street, now you can have one per block. So it might actually end up with, one across one street, but, it would cut the number in half or more than that.
Now, the only thing, the city use building. Right now, it's not a problem, but, I know it's, would that be a 24-hour, 7-day, 24/7 type of civic use, or just where a club might meet once a week, once a month or something, for an hour or two?
Well, I'd say that, where most civic uses are meeting, it is in a civic building. So, like.
Rotary Club at one time held their meeting at Randy's for a little while. Had a space situation, so that kind of went away, but
Yeah.
that was a potential at one time, but that was once a week, for an hour. So, was that classify that location as a civic use?
No,
Which would have
'cause
been very close to the proposal.
the ordinance says civic use building, so it would have, Randy's is clearly a restaurant.
Right.
So it would be, your churches, your schools, the post offices. Our ordinance actually defines what those are. So it's like the post office, the fire department, those sorts of uses. It could be, the little, Yeah, the lodge, and their little veterans building just past the elementary school. So those sorts of buildings are what we're talking about. And that's what I, mapped out. So all those little blue spots are, our civic uses, in our community.
Do you not think, do you think leaving that out on central business is a
No.
good thing?
No, we're not leaving it out. Not leaving it out. So the, property owner that
You
I,
had the detached homes.
yeah, right.
You had detached homes and you had the shelters, but, the civic buildings, at one time it was in the old ordinance, but,
It's
I didn't see
still,
it in the proposed new one. Unless you,
It is.
have you put it in there?
it is. So there's still civic use buildings, and then.
Within the CB, but again, when you were listing a while ago, that's why I was questioning you on that. I saw that, but then you didn't list that a while ago. You just said detached buildings and the park.
I'm
shelter.
sorry, I was just talking about the changes from the first to second. So civic use buildings would remain, and so even with plotting out the civic use buildings, there's still spots in our downtown that bars and nightclubs could potentially locate. I added the picnic or the park shelter provision as an exemption in downtown, because if we consider the depot a building, then it would virtually just wipe out all of 4 and 5. And we have future plans for Lytton Street, which show a park on the other end of town. So it would sort of set up in the future to allow something over there as well.
Bottom line for me is, as long as you include it with detached homes and the shelters, park shelters, the civic use as well in central business.
Yes. So all civic buildings with the exception of park structure. So,
With the exception of park structures.
yes. So
What about
bars,
the shelter, downtown shelter?
bars and nightclubs within the central business district would be exempt from the separation requirements from single-family residential properties and downtown park shelters. So that means that the bars and nightclubs, all the other civic uses would have that restriction. They would have the 300-foot restriction on churches, daycares.
A little confused here. You mentioned a while ago the downtown structure shelter.
Yes. Talking about the depot.
Right.
It's exempt.
That is exempt, okay.
Yes.
See, that's not what I was, okay. Anyhow, so now, we've got downtown shelter exempt, we've got civic uses exempt,
We
detached homes.
don't have civic uses exempt.
That's what I'm concerned with.
You want the civic uses exempt, or you don't want them exempt?
In the central business, if we're gonna exempt detached homes, we're gonna detach the downtown shelters and so forth. And I think you need to, include the civic uses.
That is what I'm proposing to do.
You want the civic uses exempt?
You want them included, right?
Included in the exemption.
You want them exempt?
Oh,
We got that.
so you would want to remove the blue dots on the screen? Other than the daycare and the churches? So like you would want to remove the post office and the fire department?
Central business.
Yes.
Detached homes, shelter, downtown shelter, park shelter, and civic use. Civic use basically being those organizations that we determine that are there to serve for the community or public good. Now, and the reason I'm saying that is because you can have an organization to come in and take up a site, to meet, whether it's just once a week or once a month or something that could be considered civic use. Now, when you're talking about a post office, I'm not talking, civic use of a post office. No, that's not the type of civic use I'm talking about. You're talking about organizations that are there to serve the public, tax exempt. Such as a Rotary Club, such as a Lions Club, such as a Lions Club, this sort of thing.
So they're not there now though, so.
Under the old ordinance, that was there.
The what?
Then, under the old ordinance,
Mhm.
civic use was there.
It would still be there as an.
So, Erica, so that I make sure we clear this up.
Thank you.
It's in ordinance, section 4.6, on the left of our screen.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the old ordinance?
Well, all the blue text is new.
Right. Was there anything struck from that ordinance that was just added?
Right, it's just
Language.
added language.
Okay, so that's the old language
Yes,
outside the blue text.
correct.
Yes.
Okay. So, so I think that language is still, I think the point, Paul, is the language is still very similar, which is why she didn't mention that, other than the daycare piece.
Right, that was added,
Right.
correct. But in the packet, or the email we got the other day, I did not see, the civic use as being part of the exemption, like the detached homes and the, park shelter, that park shelter, that's why I was questioning that. Because that could be, in my opinion, in the future, a detriment, for, a different block, for a nightclub or bar to locate. If we, do not include that as part of the exemption, like a detached home or park shelter. And that is my point. Now, you're saying that that is a part of the exemption, like detached homes and park shelter, in the new language.
Civic uses would not
Doesn't
be,
read that way.
Yeah, civic buildings.
yeah,
Is
buildings.
what you're, it's the difference, right?
So, we could take out the, and you just put or schools, hold on. Is this what you're after, Paul? So, you would say that no bar or nightclub shall be permitted 300 feet of any single-family detached residential unit, church, daycare, or school. Bars and nightclubs within the CB district are exempt from the separation requirements from single-family residential properties and civic buildings.
You put that up there?
Oh, I'm sorry, you can't see it. How did it do that one?
Erica, I think we're saying the same thing. Can you put the language back up there? And if I'm clear,
Those are-
again, Paul, tell me where I'm wrong. He wants to be able to allow, a bar nightclub, in central business, to be within that 300 feet.
Yeah,
The
so,
one could be next door.
Of a civic use building.
okay, so, and I changed it slightly, so I put school back up in the things that you would want to be, always have that restriction. And then I put that bars and nightclubs within the CB district are exempt from the separation requirements from single-family residential properties and civic buildings.
Detached residential properties and civic buildings, is what we're saying now, with the exemption.
Yes.
Okay, I'm good with that.
Well, the first sentence there, that no bar or nightclub shall be permitted within 300 feet, there's a house within 300 feet of that.
That's why you're
But
exempt.
that's why the bars, that's why it exempts it in the next sentence, bars and nightclubs within the CB district, they'd be exempt from that single-family residential property and
Yeah,
civic
so if
building.
it's in the central business, it would be exempt.
Central business only, Jim, just central business.
Okay.
Outside central business, it's not.
Right.
Okay. Any other questions?
I have one question. If at some point in the future, assuming this is passed, a daycare center decided they wanted to open across the street from the Charles, very popular bar, does the daycare center trump the bar?
No, so actually, if you look at this, this map, you'll see that our existing bar is right on the corner of, by Pellegrino's. And a few years ago, the church turned a house into the Boy Scout hut, their little church building, and so that turned it into civic use. So it actually pushed that 300-foot boundary out, but the bar was already there, so it's allowed
So
to remain.
bar.
Yep.
Well, does that bar serve food, the one beside Pellegrino, does that make a
Yes,
difference?
they do.
It does. It does make a difference with our ordinance.
It did.
But yeah, it did.
They're not there now.
No.
Well, when they were there.
But if the bar is there, then
They can remain.
the daycare center would have to.
Just wait for it.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know how many people remember this or not, but, not too many years ago where Southern Treats is, there was
Yeah.
a bar.
That breaks and do that.
Sorry, there
I was in high school, I couldn't go.
No, he had
No,
a
I
bar.
said
You had
not
a
too
bar,
many years
yeah.
ago.
Workman's bar or
Yeah.
something.
And they had amplified music. You were in bed by the time they opened up.
Probably was.
You were a teenager.
So, any other questions? Staff can clarify this TA 160106.
So I don't know what that motion is being out.
Call for the question.
So it would be adopted as discussed.
Okay.
Okay.
What about the consistency?
So they need to find the
statement
consistency.
Oh, yeah, it's
statement.
still the same consistency.
Yeah, we're working on the statement of consistency right now. So is there a motion?
I make a motion that we, find TA 16-06 consistent with the 2035 future land use plan downtown development goal. The amendment is reasonable and in the public interest because it provides a healthy environment for a diverse mix of retail, service, residential, dining, and entertainment services, or uses, sorry.
And I would second that motion.
Okay, there's a motion, made and seconded, by Ms. Williams and Mr. Bryant. Is there, any other question or comment? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposition?
No.
We have one, no, and, we'll make sure that's recorded. Second thing we need to do is consider adoption of the ordinance 1916 title, an ordinance amending the Town of Troutman Unified Development Ordinance as discussed. Is there such a motion?
So moved.
Motion is made, is there a second?
Second.
Motion is made, by, Mr. Hinkle and seconded by Ms. Williams that, we approve the ordinance as discussed. Is there a question or other comment? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposition?
No.
We've got, 4 aye and, 1 in opposition. Motion passes. Our next item is the annexation, contiguous annexation of, the ABC board. And, let's see.
I guess, well, it's on here. Okay, well, the ABC store is currently, comprised of 2 lots. The lot on Highway 21, is already in the town limits. However, the rear lot shown in yellow is not. The request will bring the entire site into the town limits, meets all required conditions for annexation, and therefore staff recommends granting their request.
I did declare a public hearing, so thank you, Erica, for that. Is there any visitor comments on this? Giving, ensuring that our ABC store parking lot, the rear part of the store is within the town. I declare this public hearing closed. We'll consider adoption of the ordinance, 2016 title, an ordinance to extend the corporate limits of the town of Troutman, North Carolina contiguous. Is there a motion granting annexation through the adoption of this ordinance?
I'll make a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
made by Mr. Blonsky, seconded by Ms. Williams. Is there any other question? Comment? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none, motion passes. Our next item, we will consider the appointment of Mr. Andrew Whitaker to Troutman Business Council, who is the Troutman Business Council President, to the Town of Wayfinding Steering Committee. Ms. Martin.
I think you covered it.
And most of you know, Mr. Whitaker is leading our business council. I think we had a discussion about his activity on Monday. Is there such a motion to appoint Mr. Whitaker to serve on the Wayfinding Steering Committee?
So moved.
Is there a second? Motion is made. Is there a second? Some reservation, I take it. If there's no second, then the motion fails. I don't know if we were looking for a certain number. I think clearly, as most folks discussed on Monday, our wayfinding program is well on its way. We were hoping to get some feedback from our business council, and maybe there's an opportunity that we can appoint someone else to that committee.
And for clarification, you don't need to add another member. There's no number requirement, and there will be some public workshops being held where anybody who wants to participate will be invited.
Okay. Thank you. Our next item is the annexation, non-contiguous at 1603, applicant, Pruitt Development Corporation, 111 Westmoreland Road. The pin is in your packet. It's 10.6 acres. Ms. Martin.
It's really just accepting all the documents Kim's prepared, so you can consider this item and setting the date for next month.
So our annexation will take place potentially next month. This time I'll consider adoption of resolution 07-16, title resolution directing the clerk to investigate a petition received under Article 4A of General Statute 160A 31. Is there such a motion to approve this resolution?
Make a motion that we approve resolution 7-16, directing the town clerk to investigate a voluntary annexation petition.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion was made by Ms. Williams, seconded by Mr. Hinkle. Is there any question or comment on that?
This just, question, allows the investigation to go forward and a decision on whether or not to annex would be taken at a later date.
That's correct.
Thanks.
Any other question or comment? I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none. Our next item is to consider approval of certificate of sufficiency. And I'll accept the motion to approve the certificate of sufficiency. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion was made. Is there a question or comment? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none, motion passes unanimously. Our next item is to consider adoption of resolution 0816, titled resolution fixing the date of the public hearing on question of contiguous annexation pursuant to Article 4A of General Statute 160A. Is there such a motion to approve this resolution?
Oh, it should be non-contiguous. That's just a
I
typo.
found that. Thank you. That's non-contiguous annexation. Is there such a motion?
So moved.
was made by, Mr. Troutman, Jimmy Troutman. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion was made and seconded by Ms. Williams. Is there any question or comment? That public hearing date will be November 10th, 2016. Any other question or comment? Hearing none, I call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposition? Hearing none, motion passes unanimously. Our next item is to consider approval of a change order number 3 for 2015 street improvement projects. Mr. Longino.
Yes, sir, thank you. This is the change order that we discussed on Monday. I got with Benji after our meeting for a little more clarification. What it comes down to is we have the initial contract price. There were 2 change orders. This would be the third one, which took us over the budgeted amount. But then I believe I sent the email out to all of you. Benji said there'll be a fourth change order coming that'll actually bring us down below the initial amount, so the project will actually come in under budget. The reason it looked like it was over budget now is because of that change order that hasn't come through yet, taking it down. So were there any further questions on that?
Any additional questions on that?
So would be voting to approve change order number 3 without having change order number 4 in our
Yes.
possession?
Yes, sir. And just to be clear, we haven't paid over the budgeted amount yet because we haven't paid for the entire project yet. So once that final change order comes in, I believe we'll pay the balance, and that'll be under the initial budget.
Only motion we make out be contingent upon that before the change order coming through. Okay.
I would absolutely agree with that. Yes.
Okay.
So is there such a motion?
I'll make
Is
the
that
motion. I'm sorry, go ahead.
contingent on what you said?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
You want to make the motion?
I would just,
Oh, I'll make the motion, subject to, as I just said, subject to the change order 4 coming through, resulting in less than the amount equal to or less than the contracted, original contracted price.
I'll second.
Are we clear on that?
Yes, sir.
All right. Motion is made by Mr. Hinkle, seconded by Mr. Blonsky. Is there any other question or comment? All right, hearing none. I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none. Motion passes unanimously. Next item is comments from the mayor and the council. I'll open it up to council first.
I have a couple of things I'd like to say. First, I'd like to thank Justin and Gary and our mayor for coming out and playing in our 5th annual golf tournament for the park. Unless my figures are wrong, I haven't gotten with Steve, but I think we profited $4 shy of $5,100. So that was our best golf tournament so far. So I think keeping it in the fall might be a good thing.
Hey, did you get a bill for the potholes that were left?
After you.
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
There were a lot of them. There were a lot.
I'll come back.
Okay.
Divot pothole.
Not
Yeah,
divot.
it was a pothole.
Mayor.
It was not a divot.
Not divot, pothole.
Yeah, exactly.
The second thing I would like to address, and please, I want this on record, so please put this in your newspaper. I heard a rumor today, I hope it was just a rumor, but that I have been given special consideration because I'm a council member due to our garage being built. I have not been given any special consideration. Someone said, well, it's not attached and it's not supposed to be out there in front of your house, which our UDO does require that. But due to the condition of our old garage, and it was a poured pad, we were grandfathered in. So that's why we were able to build what we did. And when this person was telling me this, I said, he said, but you tore it up. No, we did not tear up the pad that was in the garage. It was the concrete that was in from the road to the pad. So, came down here, got all the permits we needed from the town. We went to the county, inspections department, and all of our inspections have passed. So I just wanted to put that on record.
Thank you. Any other comment?
I would just like to follow that up by saying, I wish folks would get all the facts before they point the fingers. It just, you know, that deeply disturbs me that rumors kind of take on a life of their own, and so many times, at best, they're a half-truth, a distorted truth, and at worst, they're out and out incorrect. And, you know, well, you know, under our Constitution, we have a right to our opinions, we have a right to say what we feel, but before we start making accusations, I would just wish folks would get all the facts and then comment, because they may find that, you know, what they're concerned about is not necessarily something to be concerned about, if they would just take that time to do. That's all I got to say.
Any other council comments? Mr. Ponsky? Mr. Troutman, any comments? Mr. Bryant?
I would just like to say that I look forward to working with all of you on the council, with the mayor, with the citizens of the town, the staff of the town, and that there's a great group of people here. And I like the words that I even wrote them down, the family-friendly atmosphere, and that we can accomplish a lot together going forward. Thank you.
Great. I would just kind of follow that up by saying welcome, Mr. Bryant, to council. That there is a real keen sense that the citizens of this town want to be and starting to be more engaged. I appreciate hearing from young folks who want to be part of our community. I think we need to figure out how to get more of that. And I know I'm preaching to the choir because I see a lot of faces that I normally see. And you all give us great feedback, whether we agree or disagree on many issues. This is our community, and it's what we make it. And we need to continue to communicate and keep those lines of communication open. So welcome to the board, and we look forward to working with you. At this time, I'll move comments to our town manager. Yeah.
Other than welcoming Paul, I don't have any comments. I'll ask staff if they have anything. No.
All right. The next item is we're going to go into a closed session, and I need a motion to go into closed session. Before I accept the motion, I will ask that our town manager, our planner, and our finance director, and our clerk, and our attorney.
Everybody's managing. Everybody's at Steve Rimmer.
Mayor, we have a short break before we go in.
And we will. We'll also ask one of our real estate advisors, Mike Todd, if he would hang around as well. So with that, I'll accept the motion that we go into closed session.
May I say one more thing before you do that?
Yes.
And this is quick. Sally, I don't play golf, but I would be pleased to give you $4 so you can say 50.
Oh.
$4? I will give you that $4, so you don't have to give it to her.
Just Paul, just so you know, for next year, I don't think T. Ross or Gary or I play golf either. So you can come join us.
That's not what it's called.
Actually, what I heard from him a while ago, I know you're right. I don't think it's-
I make a motion, we go into closed session.
Thank you, Reed.
Oh, I make a motion, we go into closed session.
Just a minute, please.
I'm always watching the wrong way with you. I'm
Guys,
Guys, Steve,
Thank you so much. This one?
sorry,
Yeah, so,
just a minute.
one more comment?
Okay, go ahead, Sally.
Okay. I make a motion, we go into closed session pursuant to NCGS 143-318.1185 to discuss acquisition of property.
Thank you. Motion was made and seconded. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none.
Oh, man, we done.
I did not recognize you. How are you doing?